I'm Mike, and welcome to Tech Shop. If you follow me, we're going to take you on a tour. Okay, so this is the inside of Tech Shop here. We'll start out with this area right here.
Now, what is the idea behind this place?
The idea is it's an entrepreneur's maker's space. So if you have a maker bone in your body, if you've ever taken a piece of paper and folded it into something, or drawn something on a piece of paper, or developed something in a program and you've wanted to see it in 3D, this is the place that people go to do that. It has all of the tools that one person would need to make anything that you can pretty much think of. A lot of innovators use this place. There's people that have actually created Kickstarter inventions from Tech Shop, using Tech Shop as their base.
That's
and
awesome.
have gone on to sell their products to the world, things like that.
What you'll be seeing over here is people are doing laser cutting and etching. We have Universal Laser Systems. Universal is a local company that they service and build the machines here in Scottsdale. It's a CO2-based laser system. Pushes the laser through a cartridge. Show you on this one. There's a tube back here that shoots the laser through these eye holes here, down into this, and then the laser shoots down here and cuts stuff. This is some of the samples of what can be done from etching steel to leather to plastic to really deep draw stuff on woods and things like that. I use it for costuming, and it saved my life. Like half the stuff I made, even this hat right here, is laser cut. So, I'll give you an idea of what can be done. Let's see if we can see one in action. Different things that people have been able to make. Little foldable boxes. So this was all cut in one piece. Little tapped hinge boxes. Laser etching on glass. I made this for the city of Chandler. 6-pack of beer. This is our computer lab. This is where we teach how to use the programs that we have available on all of these computers. We're sponsored with Autodesk, so Inventor and AutoCAD, things like that. Also Photoshop and Illustrator. I'm an instructor here, and I teach Illustrator in this class here, amongst a few other things.
What kind of people can come to the Tech Shop and use it?
Anybody. It's not exactly open to the public. It's a membership-based organization. But anybody that wants to pay for a membership to come in here, it's kind of like going to the gym. You pay for your membership, you get a year long to use it, and you may never use it, or you may come in once a month, or you may come in all the time, and you may live here kind of like I do. It just depends on the person. As you've seen from the tour, there's ladies in here, working on textile stuff. There's something for everybody.
All right, and then the next thing we have over here is our 3D printers. We've partnered up with MakerBot for this particular tech shop. Every tech shop's different. They all use their own stuff. I think we have a couple of new 3D printers that are going to be coming in that are not going to be this particular brand, maybe something else. I teach a class on this stuff and also do demonstrations at comic conventions. This is an extruder-based 3D printer, so it uses a filament. It's a plastic that gets melted through this extruder here, kind of like a hot glue gun. And then using the CNC X, Y, and Z process, it builds up your part layer by layer until you've got a full three-dimensional part, which would be cell phone case, Star Wars items. So they use this for prototyping and everything else here.
Is it the kind of situation where people can come in, and are there like little tutorial classes or things like that where they can actually learn how to do this stuff even if they're just starting out?
Actually, most of the heavy lifting tools are required classes. It's a safety and basic use class. So if you want to learn how to use an embroidery machine, then you have to take a class on that in order to be cleared to use that machine.
Awesome.
Same with the lasers, 3D printer, things like that. And then I also teach other classes to help you along, like there's Illustrator classes and classes that help you learn some of the programs that we use to work with the machines that we have in the area.
We've got our stuff for today over on this table here where I
tend to commandeer a table on a regular basis. They're always available, and members always share tables too if there's not enough space. It's pretty friendly. Over here you have members' work computers. These are available to any TECHSHOP member, and they have all the same programs as we have in the classrooms to be able to use them for anything that you're going to do at TECHSHOP. Over here we have our textiles room. Textiles is anything that you need to sew or work on anything. We have an embroidery machine, a serger, and then a standard machine over here. And then over on this side, we have our industrial machines. We have an industrial serger, a walking foot, which will sew really thick leather. I've used that on a regular basis. The straight stitch, which sews like heavy fabrics, canvas type stuff, things like that. And then in the very back, what this lady's working on is actually a CNC quilting machine. So it'll do up to like 87-inch quilts all in one shot.
And are the classes, are they all pretty much included, or is it a separate cost from the membership, or is that what the membership kind of includes?
It is a separate cost.
Okay.
I think it ranges from like $60 up to, 150 depending on the class and how long it is.
But you can't take the classes unless you have that membership, I'm guessing, right?
Actually, you can. You get a discount on that class if you are a member. But yeah, non-members come in here all the time. I teach workshops here, mask workshops. I've done a wet formed leather rose and a wet formed mask workshop here, and just standard people come in. We did one for Valentine's Day, and we had member and non-member couples come in and do stuff. Okay, so the next area of the tech shop would be our textiles and vinyl area. So this particular area is for vinyl cutting and t-shirt printing. So we have a silk screen machine and a heat press to be able to make t-shirts, kind of like this. The vinyl machine here will die cut your materials so that you can lay out a system onto the silk screen machine over here, and then you can lay down the ink and then flash it to make a t-shirt. Also stickers and things like that. This is our electronics area. This company here, National Instruments, has partnered up and provided laptops and some other items for us to be able to work with Arduino kits and Raspberry Pis, things like that. We have all the electronics that we need to test circuit boards, build circuit boards, soldering equipment.
When I walked in and just seeing the massive space, it made me feel like a kid walking into a big art room, that it's like, oh wow, there's so much you can do in here. Like, it looks like a mad scientist would really reside in a place like this.
If I wasn't already a mad scientist, I would be based on this place.
It's pretty amazing, I tell you what.
All right, so this is our wood shop area. Our wood shop consists of pretty much everything that you would need to build something out of wood. What this guy's doing here is a router table. Also built into that system is a standard table saw, except that this table saw has got some exclusive information to it. It's the first of its kind. It has a sensor inside of the saw blade that is a safety precaution. If you were to actually try to cut a piece of wood and the saw sensed that it was cutting flesh, it immediately slams something into the saw blade, stops the saw blade, and saves your finger. Pretty cool device. If you can see back here in the corner, we have two CNC routers they're called the ShopBot, and that one in the very far corner over there will basically route out anything out of wood or plastic. And then we also have a lathe, planers, sanders, belt saw, jigsaw, everything else that you would need to make something out of wood.
If you had to pick some favorite features of the location, in your opinion, what would you say they are?
That's a tough one. Because I'm so versatile with what I do, so far I've used almost every aspect of this place with the exception of welding. I've used the water jet machine out there to cut some parts for a costume for somebody else. I've done ShopBot in there to make molds for these canisters that are vacuum formed on the machine that's here. Designed stuff on their computers to 3D print, which I've used. Laser cutting, pretty much everything. I've used everything. Honestly, I think my favorite is probably the laser cutter and the 3D printers. Now I have my own 3D printer now, which helps, but the lasers are just, I've done so much. Everything that you see here was laser cut, so I use that one the most. So the next phase is rapid prototyping. So parts of rapid prototyping is you need a machine shop to make a part. Typically an aluminum part, that would be for an injection molder, so that's what this is. The injection molder takes hot molded plastic and injects it in a high pressure into two parts of metal to create, we don't have any samples of it, but this turns out to be a little flying disc when it's made. So it shoots the plastic through this hole right here, and as this is clamped down with a heavy amount of pressure, I think it's like 6,000 pounds of pressure, it keeps it all together. So I've been able to utilize some of this for making quick parts. You can take and make something that you would normally have to make a mold of and a cast of, and you can do it in this in seconds. So next thing we have here, somebody donated this, and it's actually a pizza oven, but we have a guy right now that's utilizing this pizza oven to make it for melting circuit board pieces together. So he's in development right now to get that to work so that we can have a workshop that will allow you to cut out your template, put it on a circuit board, lay your parts down, and some solder, and pull it through the system, and it'll solder all of your parts at one time. This industrial vacuum form machine does very deep draw materials, things like this. This is, I believe, an ABS material here. This is what we do in our class. Basically use the shop out in the wood area to make a plug out of wood, and then that's how that's formed.
And this place has been in operation for a little over a year now, right?
Correct, yeah. This particular tech shop, now there's, I think, 8 or 9 tech shops throughout the United States.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
And they just opened up one in Germany, and they just opened up one in France, and I think they're working on one in Dubai right now.
Awesome. So if you guys aren't necessarily in Chandler, Arizona, check it out on the website and see if there's a tech shop near you, because if there is one of those locations nearby, you're going to want to check it out. Trust me, it's pretty awesome.
So in here we have the machine shop. We have what he's working on right here is a manual mill system. He's milling some tracks. What we have in the back is the Tormach, and that's actually our electronic CNC mill. That's what you would use if you were to make a aluminum part for the injection mold that we talked about earlier outside. And then we have 2 lathes, electronic mill lathes. These can get you some pretty fine-tuned machine parts. This is our actual metal shop, so we have 2 welding bays. And the third one, if need be. Over on this side, we have our paint booth for powder coating, and also standard spray paint. So that place is pretty cool. We've got metal bending, press tools. We've got standard tools for pretty much anything that you would need with metal shop. This one here punches holes in metal. Same with that one. This will cut sheet metal. This is kind of our sheet metal area right here. So we've got our band saw. That one will cut down gauge steel and things like that. And then we've got bending tools and welding tools, quick spot weld stuff for sheet metal. And then this is our finishing room. So we have a bunch of different grinders, a sandblaster, polishing tools, things like that. This one right here is an electronic metal bending tool. So it basically pounds on the metal while you're pushing it through there to organically shape it.
So getting back to what you were saying about how it kind of operates like a gym, it's really cool for people, it seems like, because you mentioned that you have a 3D printer, but some people don't have access to that kind of machinery on their own.
Right.
So it's really neat that they can just pay an overall membership and get access to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and relatively speaking, the membership is pretty cheap in comparison to what you would have to spend to get a lot of the equipment that we have here. I mean, that water jet machine I think was $250,000. Some of the laser cutters are up in the $80,000 range.
It's crazy.
We just can't afford that stuff, and so this is a great outlet for people to come in, especially students. I know that right now they're doing a special for all ASU students.
Nice.
To get in free, and they get like $100 worth of free classes, and they sign up as long as they're a full-time student. All right, so what we have back here is like the overflow of big machined items and metals and woods and things like that. One really big machine, this is actually a water jet machine. The water jet machine. This machine here uses a mixture of sand and high pressure water to cut through just about any. Gives you the ability to cut this stuff. So this is some of our scrap bin, I think, and some of this is like gauge steel. This is aluminum. Looks like 1/4-inch steel.
And it seems like one of the non-tangibles of the membership is the possibility of networking, right?
Oh, yeah,
I'm guessing
sure.
because there's so many people here to come and do their creative thing. And if you come down and get yourself a membership and you see someone like at a station that you want to learn about, it's probably not unheard of to go and approach them and be like, hey, I'm trying to learn about that. Could you maybe answer a question or two, that kind of thing? I mean, are the people here, do they generally tend to be pretty open to that?
Yeah, most everybody here is pretty open and friendly about what they're working on, and they're willing to share with you. Had a guy in here when they just opened the shop, by the way, 24/7. So the first night of the 24/7, this kid brought in a jetpack. So yeah, he's an ASU student, and he goes to Polytech, and he's developed some kind of prototype backpack that helps in assisting you running.
Really? So not a prop necessarily, an actual functional,
real
wow.
functional jetpack.
Wow, crazy.
This little area here is our little store. This is kind of the area where they have different stuff that you can purchase if you need to create your items, powder coating, vinyl for die cut stuff, glasses for etching. These are Arduino kits. We got plastics over there for the laser cutter and different things like that. And then just a few things on display from what our members here have created. So you see some of the laser cut items, goggles and hats. So TECHSHOP has partnered with ASU, and they own the building, have helped us put this together. And so there's Polytech, which is the innovative entrepreneur program for ASU. And so they do classes over on this side while we do our stuff over here. And then in conjunction with that, ASU students get a free membership to this place and get to use the facilities and things like that.
Okay, Mike, well, thanks again for showing us around TECHSHOP. We really appreciate it. This place is way cooler than even I knew it was going to be. So make sure you stay tuned, you guys. We're going to have Mike on our channel a good deal more, doing some how-to videos and all that good stuff, showing you some cool costuming things. And make sure you visit techshop.ws if you want to check out places like this that apparently are all over the country, and specifically this one here in Chandler, Arizona. It's very worth your time. So thanks again for watching, and remember, stay scared.